for the time I left and the time I went back.
Mm-hmm.
And I only went back is because my mother and dad had, this is my stepdad, had an accident somewhere in Tennessee or Kentucky, automobile accident. And when she called me, says, we made it down here. We made it down here okay. We just had an accident on the road coming down. I'm saying, a car accident? Yeah. I said, well, you're talking awfully slow. Are you all right? Well, she said that, well, we went to the hospital and they checked us out and yes, I'm okay. I said, well, you don't sound okay. She said, well, I'm just tired. And I said, you don't sound all right. I'm coming down there. I booked me a flight.
Was that your first airplane ride?
I don't think so, no. Because I was in New York and I drove back and forth. I flew back and forth to New York, from New York to Warren. And so I said, well, I'm coming down there to see how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went down there and I was down there 2, maybe 3 days. She was all right. And I came on back home.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about the place.
Wow.
How to get around.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some kids that lived right next door to us. If it wasn't next door to us, it was down the street
Mm-hmm.
that we played with. I remember those names. And we were at my aunt's house. This is why they were down there, you know. We're down this, I don't went down for a funeral or what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to my aunt's house, got a taxi, and went over to their house. And she said, she asked me, do you remember the Leonard kids that lived next door or where you guys used to play with?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes. They live right up the street, right up there. I said, where? They pointed the house out, went out on the porch. They pointed the house out. And I said, I'm going up there and see them. And I said, I saw the one guy, and he called his brother that was in my class, I think like 4th or 5th grade or something like that. I used to play with him, his sister, and whatnot. And went there and saw them. He was surprised to see me because they remembered me. And he called his brother that was living, well, I was full grown, 47 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
So he called his brother that lived in Anniston, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother, he was in my class, same age. His brother drove up from Anniston
Just to
to
see you.
Birmingham just to see me.
How sweet.
And we fell in love with each other.
Oh.
My husband had died,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Mr. Lipscomb,
Mm-hmm.
and he had passed away. And he was a single. He was 6'4" tall,
Ooh.
handsome, oh my gosh. And we started calling each other, talking to each other. And I went down there 2 different times. I went to, well, it was 2 different times. The first time when he called, and the second time when he asked me if I would come down to his sorority, no, his fraternal
Mm-hmm.
Anniversary or something that they would have.
Mm-hmm.
I met all these educated people down in Tuskegee.
Ooh.
When I got to Birmingham, well, after that, he picked me up at my aunt's house, and we went down to Montgomery. Not Montgomery, went down to Tuskegee on the campus where they had the reunion. That's what it was, some kind of thing. All his frat brothers and whatnot. Girl, I was in high cotton because all the seniority sisters were there too.
Mm-hmm.
And
What does high cotton mean? High society?
yeah.
Okay.
I had to think about that. And he, next time you come on, have that picture that they took at that occasion, okay?
Okay.
And somebody told him, one of his frat brothers that was sitting at the table with him, told the lady that was doing the MC. And so she says, and we have somebody here from Ohio State University. They just told them Ohio, and she took Ohio State University, and I said, he did me like that, and I stopped, and he said, shh, he said, let them think what they want to think.
Oh, that's cute.
So I had a nice time with him until James Franklin stepped in the picture. James Franklin went over to the house and asked my father, where did I live? Because he was over on Maple Street and nobody was living over there. And so he told him, no, she lived on Hamilton Street.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said that he went up and down Hamilton Street just to check the place out, that address that my dad gave him. So he passed the house, and he said he looked at it, and first thing he said, little brick house, nice brick house on Hamilton Street. You might know it by now.
Well, how did he know your dad?
Republic Steel. The Republic Steel coat plant.
Okay.
They all walked out there. Plus, they hunted together.
Oh.
They were hunting buddies, and they ran their dogs together. They would train their dogs together. But they were very close friends. But I wasn't in their circle. And so, anyway, he said he eased by and found the number. So he went on down, turned at the corner, and came back, and he eased back and looked at the house again. He said, this is his story. And so he said when he got to the corner of York Street, he made a U-turn and came back and pulled in my drive. And he knocked on the door.